Okay, so we're going to be looking at how I got my first appointment setting job. Basically, how I got my first appointment setting job as an appointment setter. Now, I'm going to basically giving you guys the unfiltered story, right? Breaking it down. I've actually shown the story a couple of times, but I'm going to start like how I actually came into this space. So I was basically a freelancer. I was doing like marketing and design, basically marketing and funnel design, right? The marketing. I was running a struggling marketing business, by the way. I was actually running a marketing and design. Definitely, you get how I actually came to doing what I'm doing right now. Marketing and design and funnel design, right? I'm struggling. I was making like pennies here, like making, I think I was making less than $1,000. I was making like less than $500. I was making less than like let's basically say like I was making less than $500 within months, right? So I was making no money, all right? Coming from a country where the minimum wage is $45, I want that to actually sink in, right? I want this to basically sink in. So $45 is the minimum wage, and I was making around $100, right? $100 a month. Basically, that was what I was actually seeing from funnel designing. So I wasn't really building funnels. I was actually like doing templates and stuff like that. I think I only got like two clients for funnel design, one for like 2K, and I didn't get another one till a long time before I got another one, right? But I was selling templates. I did marketing. I got clients for that. I got clients for my agency when I was doing marketing a couple of times, but it wasn't consistent, right? Definitely came to the strategy I use right now because I actually took all my past experience and blend it into into a strategy. So coming from this, actually going to making over 5K to 6, 7K in a month with appointment setting, it basically didn't happen overnight, right? Now let me break down the whole story. So doing marketing and funnel design, I actually found out about like the appointment setting space, right? I found out about the appointment setting space, and businesses are actually willing to pay to hire appointment setters, right? So they're paying people to actually just send people to the funnel. So what appointment setters role? So appointment setters basically are responsible for booking from qualified qualified calls, qualified meetings on a business calendar, right? So that's the work of an appointment setter. I responsible for booking qualified meetings on a business calendar. Now, I was struggling to find a role, right? I'm going to show you how I got my first role and my second role. So the first role I got, I applied to a couple of stores. I should reach out. I got one, right, with a business name on IG. And I basically was doing two stuff. So I was doing social media marketing and I was replying to the DMs at the same time, right? So it was super easy. How did I actually get that role? It was a very easy strategy. I went to marketing groups. I went to that specific niche, right? It was around hospitality, right? So I went to hospitality groups. I used basically the group strategy, the community strategy. So I went to communities, niche-based community, right? Niche. So the strategy is I joined niche based community community and started posting, right? Now, same strategy I was using to land clients in design and stuff like that. So I was posting, right? I started posting every single day consistently, like consistently. And with ChatGPT right now, you can have what to say every single day. As long as you can think of one idea, put it into ChatGPT, write one article from your mind, right? Put it into ChatGPT. You can definitely get over 10 plus content out of just one content, right? So I was posting every single day, and then I got to a point that basically posting daily, right? in all this community. And what kind of post was I actually posting? I was just sharing two stuff: my experience and marketing tips for hospitality and stuff like that. So business reached out to me, right? This was completely inbound. So business inbound message. I got a couple of inbound messages, but like people asked me, oh, what can you do around this? What can you do around this? So business reached out to me, right? Business inbound message. And that was how I got my first clients, a social media marketer. I basically showed them, I basically pitched them like, oh, I could definitely help you do this. They were like, oh, how can we do this? How can we do this? I originally told them, okay, this is how you could do it. But I could help you do it, right? So I was managing the social media. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, right? So I was doing their social media manager, and DM setter, right? So I was actually in the DMs for them and actually managing their social media. But I fast found out, right, that I didn't have a clue what I was doing. Right. I fast found out I didn't have a clue what I was doing. So the next thing I tried to do was to hire setters for my dying appointment setting business. Right. So the first thing I tried to do was just random posting. Then I tried to hire setters for my dining appointment setting business. Then I quickly found out that appointment setters, I always say this, appointments setters do not fix a business. They only scale what is working. And I had nothing working definitely because I couldn't. I first found out that I can't hire appointment setters for a business generally like 100, 200, $300 a month. And definitely not the kind of business you want to actually hire appointment setters because I still had the scarcity mindset. Right, one thing I was able to that I was able to kill fast was to kill the scarcity mindset. So I decided to invest in a program, right? Not saying, oh, go invest in a program, right? If you have the finances, invest. But I didn't have a huge finances, so I invested in the program I could afford, and I fed on content. So I went to intro program, right? Of course, and I got YouTube videos. So I started watching YouTube videos related to the topic, right? As much YouTube videos related to the topic, right? And after I got to a particular point in time, this is still on here. I got to a particular point in time, I felt like, okay, I think I could do this. I tried trying to find a position on Facebook groups. At that point in time, I had no Facebook groups. So most people say, oh, you had large Facebook group. I mean, I had no Facebook groups for appointment setting and closing. One thing I always do whenever I come into any space, even when I was doing funnel design, right? I created a Facebook group for my funnel design. I lost the group. I can't see the group, but I lost the group because there was a time I lost my Facebook account, right? So anytime I enter any space, I try to create a Facebook group for that stuff, right? So I decided to like find a position. Wasn't really going as fast as possible because I was seeing positions, but they weren't really like giving me a chance because of that experience and location and time zone and stuff like that. So what I did was to blend two stuff. Before I actually like started doing funnel design and stuff, I actually had the business. Basically, the business I was living on, I was selling digital products, right? So I was selling digital products. I was actually selling digital products. And why I was doing my digital products business was I created digital products and sold it. Then I didn't do affiliate marketing, but I found out okay, the affiliate marketing I was had a complete contemplation was like, how is appointment setting different from affiliate marketing, right? Because appointment setting is different. And I basically answered myself, appointment setting, you're booking calls, affiliate marketing, you're getting people to buy a product and you make a commission, right? Okay, what way can I blend these two stuff, right? And it becomes one. Then I found out there's actually something like that called DM closing, right? Okay, I'm interacting with people in the DMs and getting them to buy a product, and I don't need to fulfill it, and I could put my own percentage on top, right? Definitely a game changer. So what I did was I found a guy selling a product around 500. I've actually shared that, right? Around 500, and then I sold it for 1,000. right? 500 sold it for 1,000, made 50% profit. So I had like 100% profit. That's definitely like 100% profit because I didn't actually start with any captors, right? So, and I had a simple sign up process because a lot of people ask me, like, how did I basically do that? In a large scale, you can't really do it, but I wasn't really getting a lot of sales in a month, right? So, what I did was I wasn't booking a bunch of calls. So, I was just getting people to buy a product, get interest. So, I created free lead magnets, pull them in, right? I pull them in. When I pull them in, I get them to the DM, interact with them, give them the free lead magnet, start a conversation with them. I made sure the business had a VSL, right? I was just learning a lot of stuff on YouTube, right? How people were selling digital products. So I made sure the business had a VSL, right? At first, I didn't basically start selling at $1,000. So it was like, so it was like 600, made tiny profits, right? So I started taking it up, right? So I made sure the business had like a VSL, right? I think the first product I sold was not 500, was like lower than that, but I decided to find something higher so I could make more money, right? That had more value to provide and I could charge more, right? And so I would create lead magnets, get people into the DM. So the system was quite easy, right? Um, Join community. So I find niche based community since the product was actually a niche based product. Niche based community, same process I used in the beginning. If you remember, niche based community, right? Then I had experiences actually interacting with people in the DM. Definitely very good at interacting in the DM. So niche based community. Then I actually did lead magnet, right? This was how I actually penetrate groups, right? Go into groups and do free stuff. This was my process of penetrating every group, Facebook group, right? Coming to the point of me creating my own group, this was how I was actually penetrating groups because people were asking me, like, how do you basically get to access people's groups? Because admins are kind of strict. And of most groups, I'm like, I try as much as possible to come freely and give stuff. So lead magnets, and from lead magnet I then get people, my funnel was get them to the DM, right? Get them to actually come to my DM. We start the DM convo, basically just put inbox, right? Inbox, and then we start a DM convo, right? When we start a DM convo with them, then I try as much as possible to, at first I give them the free stuff, right? That's where the DM convo comes in place. Then I send them to a VSL, right? So send them to a VSL because I can't really say I'm not the best. I made sure the product had like reputation, had a VSL, had a YouTube video, something that actually explained the product, right? You could do this with any product, by the way, for those who are actually wondering. You could definitely do this with any product. So I made sure they had the VSL, then I actually sent people to the VSL, and then the people will buy the stuff because the product was online. Definitely was a product that people can actually like make a purchase, like not a two, like a long webinar style video, right? But what I did was not to send them to the company's website. I created my own page, right? Created my own page. Now, created my own page, but I can't really like sell this stuff for myself because people have to get the product, right? So whenever someone shows interest, I take the payment, right? And then manually sign them up, right? So um sale, right? Then I take payments. I take the payments, right? Then I make a sale. I take the payment myself. Then I sign them up myself, right? From my end. So I sign them up and I provide them with their access to the whole stuff. It was a very simple process. That's when I basically found out it's kind of similar with drop shipping. When drop shipping actually started, most people that didn't actually know the wave, it was just you find a product on Amazon, you find products on Amazon, you create your own store, you sell that product, pick the pictures from there, sell it. Anybody that buys from your store, you take it and manually fill it out on Amazon or whatever. Then basically automated the whole process, right? Basically, this is actually a business model on its own. So actually, let's jump straight into the site. Right, that was basically what I was doing. Right, and then next way I actually was able to land a role. Right, as an appointment that I was over the time I had posted a lot of content. Right, I started posting content related to sales, marketing, appointment setting in different groups. And I started growing my own community, right? So reaching out directly to business, I used this exact system, right? And it's called the 2QPCL strategy, right? This was basically how I was able to land a position as an appointment setter, right? I landed appointment center. I generated tens of thousands of dollars for these businesses. So it was simple. So quality, right? Now the quality of what I do, quality of my approach, quality of my DMs, quality of my interaction, quality of everything, right? And then quantity, right? I always tell people, in as much as quality beats quantity every single day, you also still want to do quantity, right? So quantity and positioning, I'm going to break all of them down, right? Positioning and then consistency and leverage, right? Okay, I think I have to take this up. Yeah. So for quality, right? Now in quality, what we do around quality is everything around what you're doing is quality. So what I was doing was I joined groups. So be mindful of the groups you join. So I always tell people like in trying to find positions, you make sure you find quality. So platforms you use to find positions should be high quality, right? You don't just want to go to any platform. The groups you go to, like job placement groups and appointment setting groups and stuff like that, which is the reason I always recommend people to go to the sales channel group has a lot of high quality positions. So I joined groups. At that point in time, I didn't have positions. So I didn't have like groups of my own. So I joined groups. And where was I actually finding good appointment setting positions? At that time, basically now it's kind of saturated. Well, I joined groups for coaches. Now, coaches group, right? So this is my own process. So I joined coaches and course creator groups, right? Course creator groups. And all I just did, right, the process was very easy. Like it was super easy. You just join the groups and search inside the group. So you search inside the group for appointments, certain positions. So groups like I had like groups around ClickFunnel, for instance, right? Go High Level wasn't as crazy as that, but ClickFunnel, so I was in ClickFunnel group. You go into the opportunity section, you see a lot of people posting positions, right? Up to now, but it's kind of saturated right now. You can't really tell between the good and bad. I had to like do a video on due diligence. I'll do a video separate on how I found position on Facebook, how I found position on Instagram, separate, but this is for Facebook, right? Now, for quality, basically, I went to you find a lot of appointment setting positions right there, and you can reach out directly to those people because most of them are actual business hiring, right? And this business actually hiring, reach out directly to them. You could definitely get them you can start a convo, pitch yourself. And what I did next was at that point in time, I wasn't sending looms, right? So all I did was to start the DM with a voice message. So I try as much as possible to DM convo, and my DM convo was actually like scripts. So intro pitch, I always had the intro pitch, right? It was in today. Intro pitch and voice message, right? So I wasn't like doing video, right? I only when there was like hop on a call and do the closing call, I like had have to like hop on video call. I wasn't really like a video person, right? But I just had to hop on a video call. So intro pitch, voice message. I didn't actually have a resume or any of that. None of that. I didn't actually have any of that. But I did this and I made sure I did this a lot of times every single day. That's a key part to actually leverage, right? Coming back to leverage, you have to do it a lot of times. So I made sure I was like joining more groups, was trying to find more groups, right? And try to apply to more positions, right? But I found out fast that I couldn't really like find um a lot of groups. So it will come down to leverage of me creating my own group, right? So positioning was me being in the right group, basically, right? So I had to start joining groups that were the right groups. And by the right groups, I'd start joining groups that were actually teaching good stuff, right? So I joined a group like Bastin Slots, appointment setting group. I joined groups like joined several groups like the sales group by what's his name, Jeremy Miner. So I joined groups. So joining communities, right, of like-minded individuals and people already where you want to be. It's not that hard, right? Find people doing what you want to do, making 5, 10K a month, interact with them, join those groups where they are, right? And if you do this every single day, you wake up every single day saying, I'm going to find a position. It's not really hard. I woke up every day and, oh, how can I actually get a position, right? How can I actually land a position? How can I land a position? Focus your mind around this. You will get a position. It's not rocket science, right? So if you do this every day, do this every day, right? Every day for like 2 hours a day, right? If you don't have much time, but if you have much time, 4 hours, 2 hours a day, 2 to 4 hours a day, right? If you do this for 2 to 4 hours a day, a month is too much for you to land a position. Too much, right? Every day for 2 to 4 hours. And leverage was where I actually noticed like, oh, a way I could actually like land. That's basically how I landed my first position. Like this was how I actually landed my first position, right? This was how I landed my first position. I landed my next position through positioning consistency. Wait, basically I found my first position with the two. First, it was the 2QC strategy. That was a 2QC strategy. So quality, quantity, and consistency was how I landed my first position. But as time goes by, the space became saturated. A lot of people were coming, jumping into the space. I basically started finding positions. Positions started coming to me right now. Positions actually come to me. Business reach out directly to me and be like, hey, we need appointment setters for our business. And I'm like, the last opportunity I actually worked on, right? They reached out to me and they're like, oh, they're trying to like launch this business and they had experience, they had money, they had everything, right? And I was like, okay, I like it. I work on it, right? It was really hard. And I was getting paid as high as 20% commission, right? I always tell people, see yourself as a partner. And that's where leverage comes in, right? As I creating my own groups, right? Although funny thing about groups is not just created. I have always had the experience of creating groups. I've never sold it as a service, right? Until recently that I launched my B2B business where I help businesses and coaches and consultants create Facebook group and grow them past 1,000 members, active, basically very active members. So I help them to actually do that. So I started creating my own communities where like-minded people can come and meet me in my own place and my own ecospace because I didn't really have that freedom with other people's groups because I'll post my opinion, write a whole lot of article, and the admin takes it down and say, oh, it kind of looks like I'm promoting something and stuff like that. So I started creating my own communities and started creating my own stuff, right? Basically, this is how the whole journey works. I started creating content, right? So I started creating content on my profile and stuff like that. And this is how businesses reach out to me right now. So first way I actually landed my position was um, indirectly, right? I basically landed indirectly as a social media manager by posting and joining like-based communities. Then I actually got up. I didn't really make money. Tried to basically figure out higher status for my business. Didn't really work. Then I started like selling someone else's stuff, right? And they made money, I made money, and everybody made money, but it wasn't like scalable enough because the brand was revolving around the other person, right? So I couldn't really scale it. I had to scratch from scratch every single time. Landed the role as appointment setter, went from this, then The next role I actually landed as an appointment set that actually came to me like two, I think two different or two, four positions I've actually worked on previous time, um, came to me. Basically, they came to me, right? I didn't go out to reach out to them. So it's super easy to actually land roles. Sometimes these businesses do not even have a profile on Facebook. The person who reached out to me didn't really have an active profile, just two pictures, and they actually had a very established business, right? So it's it's not really rocket science. If you implement the strategy, the 2QPC strategy, right? The 2QPC strategy, and you have leverage where you find your, because now most people where the leverage actually come in play. People ask me like, now I had a very problem with getting experience because I already have experience. When I got to this particular point, I can definitely say I have a lot of experience, right? Definitely a lot of experience to showcase to people because now I have leverage, right? I might not have experience in your industry, but have experience doing the thing I'm actually saying I'm doing, right? That's where my leverage is. So, by the way, if you want to actually land a role, you want to find an easier way now. While we're actually doing this, I noticed a lot of people struggling to find a role because you don't have like over a year plus, over 2 years of just trials and errors. You want to actually get a proven framework that works. And proven framework that works is the 2QPC strategy. And that's how we build the sales channel. Imagine how Uber connects you with cabs, Airbnb connects you with apartments, the sales channel connects you with roles all in one place, right? Finds quality roles in large amounts where the quantity comes in place, show you how to be in the right place at the right time, position yourself and show you the tips to be consistent and show you how to leverage. We don't just show you, we give you these opportunities to apply. So you can just click on the link and be real. I think there's a 20% off if you're coming directly from YouTube. So if you're watching this from anywhere, just go back to YouTube, find my channel, click on it, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys definitely tomorrow.